In a bustling city, hidden within the confines of a cozy apartment, lived a peculiar cat named Felix. Unlike any ordinary feline, Felix possessed an extraordinary bond with his owner, Mrs. Dorothy Carter. Mrs. Carter, a gentle elderly lady, had taken Felix in as a stray several years ago, and since then, they had become inseparable companions. She would talk to Felix as if he were a fellow human, and in turn, Felix seemed to sense her every emotion. One chilly autumn evening, Mrs. Carter settled into her favorite armchair, sipping on a warm cup of tea and reminiscing over her days as a history teacher. Felix curled up on her lap, purring contentedly. As the night wore on, a fierce wind began to howl outside, rattling the windows. In the distance, ominous storm clouds gathered, signaling an impending thunderstorm. As the clock struck midnight, Felix suddenly perked up, his ears twitching. His usual calm demeanor shifted. He stood up, alert and attentive. Mrs. Carter, noticing the change in Felix's behavior, asked, "What is it, Felix? Is everything all right?" Felix leaped off her lap and dashed towards the kitchen, his tail high in the air. Confused yet intrigued, Mrs. Carter slowly followed him, her cane tapping gently against the wooden floor. Upon entering the kitchen, she discovered that Felix was staring intently at the old gas stove, which she hadn't used in years. The faint scent of gas suddenly caught her attention, causing her eyes to widen in alarm. Realizing the potential danger, Mrs. Carter quickly turned off the gas line, her hands trembling from the shock. Her heart raced as she thought about what could have happened if Felix hadn't alerted her. Once the immediate danger passed, she knelt down and scooped Felix in her arms, tears of gratitude filling her eyes. "Oh, Felix, my dear, you've saved us," she whispered, kissing the top of his head. The storm raged outside, but within the walls of the humble home, there was a profound sense of safety and comfort. From that day forward, Mrs. Carter always referred to Felix as her guardian angel, the brave cat that saved her life. Felix returned to his favorite spot on her lap, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. His eyes half closed with a look of contentment, proud of his noble deed. Together, they continued their quiet life, cherishing each day in the simple joy of companionship. Indeed, Felix was no ordinary cat, but a hero in a whisker's disguise.